I need the scoop.
A photography session turns into public humiliation when a husband's childhood friend orchestrates the ultimate betrayal. We're diving into a Reddit story that sparked thousands of debates about loyalty, marriage boundaries, and when being the bigger person becomes self-destruction. Get ready for a tale of passive aggression, family manipulation, and one wife's decision to finally stop playing nice.
I've been sitting on this for a few days, trying to decide if I'm just being dramatic, or if I've been letting too much slide for too long. So, I'm a 30-year-old woman who's been happily married for a few years now. My husband is 31 and, honestly, a gem. Kind, patient, hilarious, loyal. Basically, everything you'd want. Which, after having an ex cheat on me with his best friend, is kind of a big deal. That relationship wrecked me for a while, but I worked hard not to drag the wreckage into something new. And thankfully, my husband's never given me a single reason to question him. Until now. Maybe. I do not know. My husband and I have a great relationship, and we're pretty social and often hang out with each other's friends. I get along with almost all of his group, and they've honestly made me feel welcome. Except for her, his childhood best friend. Let's call her Claire. Claire has always been cold to me. Not outright rude, just subtle enough to make me feel crazy for noticing. You know that kind of vibe? Every time we've been in the same room, she's managed to talk around me, not to me. I tried. I really did. I've smiled, made conversation, been nothing but warm, even when she's given me nothing to work with. She doesn't show up to group hangouts, but she'll invite him over. And he always tells me, to his credit. He never goes without mentioning it, and he's never weird or secretive about her. But it still rubs me the wrong way. I've tried being friendly, I've tried small talk. Hell. I invited her to our birthdays, barbecues, engagement dinner. She bailed on all of them. She skipped our wedding too. And she only ever seems to reach out to him. Usually when she's just been dumped and needs to talk. When I've brought it up, my husband says I'm overthinking it. That Claire is just a little odd socially. Maybe she is. Then, a few weeks ago, out of nowhere, she messaged me. She asked if I'd model for her project. Totally unexpected. And I was caught off guard enough to say yes. Part of me thought, maybe this is her trying to connect. Maybe this was her olive branch. I even felt a little hopeful. God, I was naive. So, I agreed. My husband offered to come with me since he hadn't seen her in a while and thought it'd be fun to catch up after. Claire is actually a photography major, and this shoot was part of her final project. I'm not a professional model or anything, but I've done some hobby modeling here and there, so when she asked if I'd help out, I thought it was a casual favor. She comes from a wealthy family and has a fully set-up photo studio in their house, which is why the shoot happened there, instead of at a regular studio. I honestly thought it'd just be her and the camera, not a full audience with drinks and commentary. When we got there, her family was also involved, and from the second I walked in, it was like stepping into some passive-aggressive Twilight Zone. Her mum and sister kept calling my husband our son-in-law. I laugh, awkwardly. Think I must have misheard. It only got worse. During the shoot came more of the snarky comments, jokes about the one that got away, and some bonds never fade. Her mom, at one point, literally said, "We always thought Claire would end up with him, but life has its detours, I guess, and Claire always imagined walking down the aisle with him." And then, it's sweet of her to fill in though. Oh, come on, I wish I was exaggerating. And Claire just kept snapping pictures, smiling, saying nothing. No, hey, cut it out. No awkward laugh. No redirect. Nothing. My husband, clearly uncomfortable. I watched him fidget through the whole thing, clear his throat a few times. He tried to change the subject or came nearby me during the shooting. He didn't say much either, just went kind of quiet. I stuck it out for an hour, let her take her photos, smiled, posed, whatever. But the whole time I felt like I was part of a social experiment, and everyone else was in on the joke but me. When we got in the car, he was silent for a while, then finally said, "Sorry about all that. That was weird, right?" And honestly, I didn't even know what to say, because, yeah, it was weird. It was completely disrespectful, and the fact that he was there, saw all of it, clearly felt it too, and still didn't step in or pull the plug, it makes me feel kind of alone in this. I grew up in a pretty emotionally abusive household, so I think I've gotten too used to passive-aggressive comments and just sort of freeze up. Maybe that's why I didn't react more in the moment. But yeah, it definitely hit harder after the fact. I think I was so used to brushing off this kind of behavior that I didn't even realize how deeply disrespected I was. When someone pulls that kind of crap now, I think a part of me automatically minimizes it like, oh, I've heard worse. But reading reactions from others kind of snapped me out of that. And yeah, it hurts that my husband didn't shut it down. I've been trying to rationalize it in my head like maybe he didn't want to escalate things because it felt like a trap, or that he is not used to being in these kinds of situations. None of that excuses it though, not even a little. I'm just tired of pretending this woman is harmless or just awkward. She knows exactly what she's doing. I don't want to start a huge fight, but I'm at the point where I don't want her in our lives. Not as a friend, not as a ghost in the corner of our marriage. No more bending over backwards to be the cool wife. I'm not interested in earning points with someone who clearly doesn't want me around. I'm going to talk to him tomorrow. Really talk. Not brush it off, not laugh it away. Just lay it all out. Because at this point, I need to know where he stands. Anyway, thanks for letting me scream into the void for a minute. I really needed to get this out.
The Reddit community rallied behind the poster with overwhelming support, validating her feelings and calling out the husband's passive response. Many shared their own experiences with toxic friends who weaponized nostalgia against marriages. Just as she prepared for a difficult conversation with her husband, an unexpected message would provide the smoking gun evidence she never knew she needed.
A quick recap for those who missed the original. My husband's childhood best friend, Claire, has never liked me. She skipped all invitations, but invites my husband alone, avoids me in person, and still found little ways to insert herself into his life. The final straw? She asked me to model for her final photography project. I showed up thinking maybe it was a fresh start. Nope. Instead, I got publicly mocked by her family, who joked out loud that she should have been the one marrying my husband. First off, holy crap! I did not expect that post to blow up like it did. Thank you to everyone who commented, messaged, or just made me feel like I wasn't losing my mind. So many of you asked for an update. And here it is. For those wondering, no, they never dated. He had a high school crush on her over a decade ago. That's ancient history. No, I don't think he's ever cheated, emotionally or physically. He's always very open and honest. We have each other's passwords. They barely see each other anymore in person, maybe once every few months. We live about 2 hours away. Okay, so here's the update. Funny enough, I didn't even get the chance to sit down and talk to my husband before something else happened. I just can't believe my life at the moment. Anyway, I was still trying to process what happened and sort through my anger towards Claire. And, honestly, toward my husband too. That's when I got a message from my sister-in-law. We'll call her Madeline. I'm really close with Madeline. She's also part of the wider social circle that Claire floats around in. They're friendly, but not close. She sent me a screen recording from Claire's close friend story with a simple, "What the heck?" It was a clip of me posing during the shoot, no music, but in the background you can clearly hear Claire's sister say, Claire should have been the one to marry him. I lost it. I waited until my husband got home from work, sat him down, and showed him the video. He watched it once, then again. His whole face changed. He finally looked angry. I could not help but think, why didn't he have the same reaction there? So, I laid it all out. I told him everything. Every snide comment. Every time Claire made me feel small. How I'd always tried to be civil. How I never asked him to choose between us. But I was done being polite while someone consistently disrespected me. I told him, if this doesn't bother you enough to act, we've got a bigger problem. I'm not going to be in a marriage where I have to beg to be defended. I need a partner who stands up for me. And if that's not you, then I need to rethink this. He didn't argue, didn't get defensive, and I know he feels sorry. Then I showed him the Reddit post. He tried to read every comment. Some of them made him tear up. When he finished, He looked at me and said that he feels like the worst husband. He let this happen right in front of him. He is so sorry. And asked me, "What do you need from me now?" I told him straight up, this isn't just about her anymore. It's about whether or not you're willing to protect this marriage. But I'm not going to feel like I'm second place in my own relationship. So it's either me or her. So we called Claire. She picked up all cheerful, acting like nothing had happened. We brought up the video. She immediately got defensive. "Oh, come on, it was just a joke. Are you really mad over that? Seriously?" And that's when he stepped in. "This isn't just about the video. It's the constant disrespect toward my wife. I didn't say anything before because I didn't want to lose your friendship, and I convinced myself you didn't mean it. But what happened at that shoot? That was disgusting. My wife came to support you, and you and your family treated her like a joke. I didn't speak up then, and I'm ashamed of that. But that ends now. I don't even know why I held on to this friendship for so long. If you can't respect my wife, you don't respect me." She laughed, literally laughed. "Wow, you're really cutting me off over that girl." "Oh my gosh, I was ready to fight." But my husband calmed me down, said to Claire, "If choosing between you and my wife ever felt like a hard decision, I wouldn't deserve her. We're not kids anymore. You need to grow up. I simply do not want to be your friend anymore. I have nothing else to say." Telling you, he can be a gem sometimes. But yeah, we blocked her and her entire family. Since then, he's been checking in with me, not trying to fix things, just showing up, listening, understanding. He finally sees what I've been dealing with. We've still got some healing to do, but now I know where he stands, and that changes everything for me. To everyone who commented last time, thank you. Seriously, you helped me feel like I wasn't crazy, and maybe even more importantly, you helped him finally see it too.
Readers celebrated the husband's transformation and the couple's united front against Claire's manipulation. The confrontation call became a viral moment, with thousands praising the husband's powerful defense of his marriage. 3 months later, the poster returned with a final update that would show the lasting impact of choosing self-respect over keeping the peace.
"Hi again. I wasn't going to post a third time, but a bunch of people kept asking for an update, so I figured I'd just close this out. Also, oh my god, I honestly didn't expect my original post to get that much attention. I wrote it when I was angry and exhausted and needed to vent. I thought maybe like 5 people would see it and I'd feel slightly less crazy. Instead, it kind of exploded. My husband actually read the second post too. Yeah. After seeing it all written out and reading the comments, which surprised him that people were still curious. But maybe that was a good thing. Anyway, the update itself isn't dramatic. After that last call, we blocked Claire and her whole family. And that was it. No follow-up, no weird texts, no fake apology, nothing. Just silence. And honestly, that silence was kind of the best thing she ever gave me. My husband's been great, not doing too much or trying to overcompensate, just steady. He finally sees how much I was putting up with. He's been more protective in a real way, not just in words. He owns how passive he was before. It doesn't feel like we've been trying to move on. It just feels like we're on the same page now. I think the biggest shift is internal. I'm not second-guessing myself as much. I'm not trying to win people over who've already decided not to see me. I feel a lot more grounded, and it's because I finally spoke up instead of brushing things off. So yeah, not much drama, but a lot of clarity. Thanks to everyone who commented or messaged or just listened. I'm probably going to delete this account soon, but this thread honestly helped more than I can explain. For anyone else dealing with subtle disrespect that makes you question your own gut, you're definitely not imagining it. You're not being dramatic. You don't have to keep being the bigger person just to stay nice. Anyway, that's it. Thanks again.
Sometimes the greatest victory is finally knowing where you stand with the people who matter most. This powerful story about setting boundaries and demanding respect resonated with thousands who faced similar situations. Share your thoughts on marriage loyalty and toxic friendships in the comments, and explore our other videos for more stories about finding your voice in difficult relationships.